Hi guys, it's Mrs. V. So today we are going to outline all our crazy patterns that we made. So usually I draw in the same order or trace in the same order I have drawn it. So in this case, the heart was the first thing we drew. So I am just going to very slowly outline my heart. And you don't want to add anything. So you're just tracing over what you already have. And then I added my smaller heart shapes. And remember, you could have more or less than I do. And I am going to just trace all of my hearts first. And I went a little over on that one, which is okay. So do the big hearts first and then the little hearts. And then the next step will be to do the lines because you want to get all of your shapes in first and then do your lines. Remember, no hesitation to get that straight line. And if it's a little off, that's okay. Right, there we go. We made our first straight line. And then we're going to do our next straight line. And I'm going to do my one across here. So I'm just committing and making a nice straight line. If it's a little wiggly, that's okay. Kind of wiggled at the end, but that's all right. And then my last straight line. And I'm using my whole arm. There we go. So I have all of my lines in here. Now I'm going to start with my patterns. So you just want to make sure that you're tracing all of the lines that are there and that you're not adding any extra ones in. And I have patterns with lines and patterns with shapes, and then patterns with lines and shapes. So you can have either or. All right, so I'm just tracing all my patterns here. And I really only have room for 2 dots. I kind of would have to smush that last one, so I'll just leave it because my marker is a little bit thicker. And you guys don't have to use a Sharpie. You can use even a pen, like a regular ballpoint pen. You can use a dark crayon. Anything like that will work. Anything that's going to give you a nice dark line. So it doesn't have to be a Sharpie. A pen would work just as well. A pen might be a little bit easier just because it's going to give you a little bit thinner line than your Sharpie would. So if you have a black felt tip or even a black ballpoint pen, that will help. And just go slow because I know it seems silly, like, oh, tracing, but it's going to make all your designs pop out. And it's kind of an important piece of making sure all of your lines are noticeable. Oh, forgot that circle. All of your lines are noticeable and everything looks nice and crisp and clean, and making sure all your beautiful drawing gets noticed. So I'm kind of working one side and then I'll probably do the other. And notice I'm not adding anything. If I can't fit something, I'm not going to worry about it, but I'm not going to add any additional drawing. I'm just going to keep my what I have. So that I can color some of these. All right. You kind of have to, with so many patterns, you kind of have to be a detective to make sure that you're coloring and outlining all of the little pieces, especially if you did tiny patterns like I did. And even I don't trace perfectly over all of my lines. I try. All right, so I got this side kind of done. So I'm going to do this side now. Here's my little squares. Reminds me of like confetti. And you want to leave enough space so that you could color on the inside of these if you wanted to too. Okay, I am just going to finish tracing all of my picture. Okay, guys, so I've traced everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase now. When you erase, try to erase in between like your fingers, like you're saying, oh, just a little bit. This way your paper doesn't move as much, especially on those pesky edges. Oops, see, and that's going to happen. I just did what I didn't want to do, which was make that corner pull up. So really carefully, we're going to erase all the pencil lines. And when you're in the middle of the paper, it's a little easier because you don't have to worry about edges, but you really want to make sure that you do get those edges. And sometimes I'll just go in one direction like this just to get rid of my pencil lines. And I'll turn my papers. You can see kind of working a little bit larger, but I do move my hand to hold my paper down. So if I don't hold my paper down, this is what I get. Woo! Don't want that. So I'm going to get rid of all those pesky lines, those pencil lines and the Sharpie lines. Now, if you used a pen or something like that, give yourself like a minute to 2 minutes before you go to erase, because you don't want to go erase and then have the ink still be wet and smear it with the eraser. I've had that happen to myself, and it's no fun. All right, so colors. Now, there's a couple different ways you can go when we color this. All right. Oh, got some pencil marks still over here. All right, so I'm just going to shake this off. All right. So I got most of my... Now, I am not going to try to color this all in one go because that would just be too much. But a couple different choices. So for a pattern like this, I would probably just choose one bright color because my lines don't really make a shape. They're just kind of like a line pattern. They're not connected, so they don't even make stripes like these would. So I'm just going to pick this really bright pink to color this section in. So remember to color your border. So you want to start off drawing right next to the black line. So each one of these little sections of pattern is going to be a different color. Okay, so I'm going to just color that in. And I'm going to color, press hard and color small. And I'm coloring right over my Sharpie because I'm not coloring another color in there. That Sharpie won't go anywhere with the crayon over it, and that's fine. If I was going to color a little shape, it would look a little different. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. So here's my pink little, it almost looks like pie or watermelon. Kind of looks like watermelon. So I'm going to pick 2 more colors for my next section. So my next section, I'll do this one right here. I am going to do these little diamonds. I'm going to make them purple. So I'm still going to color a border and then color the middle, even though they're super kind of tiny. And just by coloring the border, I am able to color basically them in. So now I am going to color them with this red, and this is just red. So first I'm going to do is going to make a border around all my little shapes and my edges. And these aren't huge pieces that you're coloring. They're kind of small. So just take the little extra time to make those borders, and it makes your coloring so much easier. And truly, when you make those little borders, so I've made a border around everything. So I made a border around the edge and then all the little shapes. Now I can color And I don't really have to worry about coloring into the purple section or even out into another section because I have this kind of little border. And I'm just trying to get all my marshmallows and that last little section. And it's not a race, so you guys don't have to worry, oh no, I didn't get that color. Nope, it's totally not a race. I'm just picking colors that I like to go together and then kind of trying to figure out where I would like them to go. So my next section I think I'll do is, actually I think I'll do three colors in here. So I'm going to do these little bubbles. So I'm going to do the little bubbles, green, and pretty much by putting a border in, I have colored them in. So you could do 3 colors, and I'm going to do I'll do the big bubbles turquoise. And again, just by kind of doing the border and then coloring those in, you kind of create just a little space to color in. And then I'm going to take this pink color, which this is magenta, and I'm going to, again, create my border and do my border all around all my little shapes. You're just outlining those shapes so that when you go to color, it doesn't take too long. And I can even just go in now because I have such little space in there and just color that in. And everything stays neat. I know it seems kind of silly, but everything stays nice and neat. There we go. And then all I have is that little section left to color. So you could even do 3 colors like I did, or you could stick with 2. You could stick with 1 too. You could just color and have those designs be over your one color. So let's see. Just trying to grab some fun colors here. All right. So I think my next section, let's see, I will do this one right here. So this one, I'm actually going to use the blue to color in the little loop-de-loops. So I thought that'd be fun. You could also just color over this one single color. It's kind of up to you. You don't have to do the loops. I just thought it would be fun to color them in, but if you don't want to, if you use this pattern and you don't want to color in the little loops, you don't have to. I'm just thought, like I said, thought it would be fun. Now, I do want to put a border around the loops and around my heart, but I don't have to worry about the lines, like these lines. I'm going to color right over those lines. So I'm actually going to turn this upside down and sideways because I'm a lefty. And there's nothing that says you guys can't turn your paper. So I made my border. Now I'm going to go right down the side. Remember, I'm not worrying about those lines because those are just lines, just like they were over here. I know, looks kind of silly when it's upside down. I'm going to do that edge, coloring on the edge of the paper. It's kind of annoying. Okay, and I'm going to color all along here. And then all along this edge. And then I'm going to color around my heart right here. And then get all of my little loops. And I'm just going to kind of get those as I go. It's just like you're drawing a little circle around them. And I like blue and red together. I think they're really pretty. Now I can color this in solid. So I don't have to worry. Ooh. All right, because I already did all my little borders. Ooh, get that little guy right there. And get all my coloring nice and solid and dark. So when you are coloring boys and girls, don't worry so much about coloring every single section. Look, I picked 3 small sections and 1 larger one. That's kind of all I would expect you to get done today. Even if you only got 2 done, 2 small sections, or 1, if you got everything outlined and erased, that would be amazing. This is gonna take a while to color because there is so much stuff going on, but that's okay, that's cool, right? So again, I'm just gonna make loops around my things here, just to give them their little outlines, and then finish coloring this all up. All right, so I got all this colored. I'm just gonna kind of work on filling in some of my little white spaces. All right, so probably for the next one, I wouldn't use red or blue because they kind of look a little bit the same. So for this one, I would do something totally different. So boys and girls, try to get all your stuff outlined and erased. If you can get 1 or 2 things colored, that would be amazing. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see all of the beautiful art that everybody is making. So I hope this was helpful and have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.